Happy Monday, everyone. We got a fun work set for you guys coming today. We're going to kickstart off the week with some strength. So we're going to come at you today with some nice smooth flow, some strength work, sticking with the same style that we've been working with for the past little while. But before we get to that, let's talk about our warm-up. Our warm-up is very straightforward. We're going to get you guys right into it. Dynamic triangle of 3 to 5 a side, single leg RDL of 3 to 5 a side, single leg good morning, 3 to 5 a side, and then a narrow squat hold of 10 to 20 seconds. 1 to 2 rounds of that work set, just again to give yourself a nice once over, make sure the body's feeling really good, and then we'll hit up a practice round. And the practice round I'll post on the workout description, so you'll have it there. Basically what you're looking at is just a run through of the movements you'll be tackling in the work set, so that you have a chance to kind of play with them, make sure that they're feeling pretty good, and make sure that you're happy with the loading and the movement sets, all right? The work set today is 3 rounds. Again, it's going to take you somewhere between 21 to 23 minutes to take this down. You're looking at a goblet squat of 60 seconds, so just nice smooth squatting for a minute. Rest 15 seconds. After that, you're going to move into a lateral ski jump with a vertical hop. And you're going to work that back and forth for 60 seconds. Rest 15 seconds. Dumbbell Renegade Row, 30 seconds per side. We'll talk about that. And a couple different ways you can play with this. Rest 15 seconds again, into a lateral ski jump, vertical hop with 60 seconds, 15 second of rest, foot assist pistol, 30 seconds aside, and then you'll then rest a full minute, all right, before we tackle that next phase. Remembering that the movements with the per side, we're looking at a 10-second transition so that you can get yourself set up on the opposite side of the body well. And then every movement we do today has that 3-second eccentric, except the lateral skis. So everything we're using in terms of the squatting and the pressing or rowing, you'll have a 3-second lowering phase, but the jumping, the more dynamic pieces are no eccentric at all, just nice smooth pace with those. So let's get you warmed up, let's get you ready. We're gonna have some fun today. All right, let's get those feet under the hips. We'll take the arms big and tall. Big reach up overhead. We're gonna reach to one side. We'll come back over, reach to the other side. Come back up. We're going to scratch our back and reach through the elbow. Just big reach. Come back up, big stretch. Scratch your back and reach. Good. Come back up, big stretch. Bring those hands out to that T position. Let's turn them in. Turn them out. Turn them in. Turn them out. Turn them in. And out. Big stretch. And forward fold. We'll touch those toes. We'll walk up the shins. We're going to come down, framing the foot, step back into your lizard. Nice and solid in these legs. We'll take the inside hand up, and we're going to rotate forearm to the floor. We're going to come back up, big stretch, and rotate forearm to the floor. Good, big stretch, and rotate forearm to the floor. Good. Come back up overhead, plant that hand down. We're going to step back into our down dog. Setting up those shoulders, setting up that nice high hip. We'll come back into our plank. We're going to step the other foot up into our lizard. Nice and square. Inside hand's going to reach. We'll rotate, forearm to the floor. We're going to come back up. And rotate. And come back up. And rotate. And back up. Planting that hand, we'll step back into our down dog. Setting those shoulders, let's just walk those heels a few times back and forth, making sure everything feels pretty good. We'll come back into our plank, tiptoeing those feet all the way up. We'll roll, big stretch, big reach, and reach. Good, come down with those hands. Whew. And get you guys ready for action. So let's take it down. If you have any other extra stuff you'd like to do for yourself to get yourself prepped and ready, please do so. Besides that, though, if you don't, come along with me. We're going to start moving you along through that body, getting those lower bodies ready and primed to go. All right, our first phase of warm-up is going to kick-start off with a sumo stance position. We're going to turn a toe and turn a toe. So our hand is going to come to the thigh. We're going to reach up tall to the ceiling. We're going to pull the hip back, taking that body all the way down towards the floor. We're going to take it all the way back up to the sky. And then from here again, we're going to take it all the way down to the floor. And then come all the way back up to the sky. And one more time again, we're going to pull the hip back. Again, reach reaching that arm up to the ceiling in that nice hinge, creating space through this side body. So I want you guys to really embrace the idea of that hinge. So the pulling of this hip back into that heel, and that's going to create this nice hinge for the body to allow it to continue to come down towards that leg. It's going to give us space through the sides so we're not crunching down and kind of getting congested in our body. So take your time with those. Feel that space, that hinge, and that drawback as we open up the side and we open up those hamstrings. After that, we're going to come into a single leg variation, and we're just going to do this unloaded just to tap into those hamstrings again. And we're going to get ourselves set up with that kickstand. So our toe is down, our hips are square, nice and tall, pretending like we're holding on to a dumbbell or a bar. And we're going to draw the hips back into that hinge. So pulling the hip into that nice hinge like we use in a good morning, squeezing and standing, keeping that rib in and neutral. We hinge at the hip, find that hinge again, feeling that upper hamstring, lower glute, and work through priming up those hamstrings as we work. As that hinge starts to become more natural, I want you to think about trying to keep your weight planted through the mid portion of your foot. So big toe down, weight evenly distributed through the foot, but the majority of our body weight through that midfoot. Right after that, we're going to continue with our single leg adventure, and we're going to work on that single leg, good morning with rotation. So my one leg is going to come out straight, toe pull back, and the heel just in front of the toe. I'm nice and tall and square. I'm going to draw the hip back like I did in the RDL, but now I'm going to rotate towards that lead leg. So I'm still feeling that sensation in that upper hamstring glute as I pull back. If I'm not feeling it there, I need to really focus on engaging through that midsection, through those glutes, before I start drawing the hips back. And that will help bring that sensation into that upper hamstring and that lower glute. So take your time with those. It's really easy to lose your balance on that as well. So make sure you're taking the time to draw back with good balance and get that good rotation. Like the RDL, as this is starting to become more straightforward in terms of that hinge, body position, staying square, focus in on your foot and try and keep that weight through that midfoot with that big toe down, and that'll really help you build that kind of foot awareness in all your other movements. Last but not least, we're going to come into our narrow squat stance. So that's anything inside of our regular stance, and we're going to work on a narrow squat. So like our normal squat, we're going to take our hips towards our heels, staying as upright as we can, knowing that this narrower stance may not allow us to get as deep, but we're going to take it to where we can maintain our position. So again, feet staying flat, hips go towards the heels, we take it down, and then we hold this bottom position. We're going to hold this position for 10 to 20 seconds. Our primary focus on this is maintaining those positions as we hold and exiting the squat the same way we came into the squat, with good position, so the hips and shoulders lower together, hips and shoulders rise together. So come out before you have to kind of contort your body to get out of that squat hold. So listen to your body, listen to your balance, and see where you're at for that 10 to 20 second hold. As a quick recap, we have our dynamic triangle for 3 to 5 aside, single leg RDL, 3 to 5 aside, single leg good morning with rotation, 3 to 5 aside, and our narrow squat hold for 10 to 20 seconds. We're going to use that. You can do it 1 to 2 rounds, whatever you need or have time for to get yourself prepped, and then we're going to move you into a practice round to give you some good insight into those movements we're doing in our workout. So pause the video, take down that first piece, and come along with me. We're going to talk about the movements in our work set today. All right, we've come to the work set. So our work set today is going to kickstart off with some goblet squats. So for the first round, if you'd like to do a normal air squat, I totally stand behind that. That's totally fine. So our feet are in about our hip to shoulder width stance, toes slightly turned out. I'm going to try and keep my foot flat and my weight through my midfoot, so where my laces are. I'm going to draw the hips to the heels, and those knees are going to track those toes. So I'm going to push them out just a little bit, trying to keep those knees in line with those toes. I don't need to push them out as much as we do when we do our sumos, because that would push my toes off the floor. We want to keep that foot nice and flat. Now, if you're starting off with the goblet, Same mechanics, except you're gonna pull the dumbbell up under the chin. So you're gonna press into the dumbbell a little bit, keeping those ribs in, that nice neutral pelvis. And we're gonna draw the hips down towards the heels, knees tracking those toes, body nice and upright. So we're trying to stay as tall and vertical, using this goblet squat as an assistance tool to work on our posture. So really focus on that tall torso. Stop your squat if you feel yourself hinging and kind of toppling forward. We want to make sure we're trying to work that tall posture as much as we can. And that 3-second tempo will really help maintain good body position. After that, we have our lateral ski with vertical hop. And you can do one of two things here. You can just work the lateral ski, or you can add in the vertical hop. So I'm going to show you both. So what this looks like, we can either just do our swing jump, our lateral ski, or if you're not a jumper, swing step, okay? Or we can add in that little vertical hop. So I swing vertical, or I can step, high knee, step, high knee. I can also do my lateral ski to high knee as well. So if you're not quite comfortable with that little hop, you can work that horizontal, up. Working on kind of finding your balance points where you need it. It's okay to put the toe down for a moment in that transition to that vertical position. Do what you need to do, all right? What we want to play with here is something, a sense of some dynamic coordination recovery tool. So we're not trying to destroy ourselves in this lateral ski with vertical hop. We're trying to work on some skill building, just some steady state flow to allow ourselves to recover a bit, but still work on some skills. Because right after that, we're gonna move into our dumbbell Renegade Row. So our dumbbell Renegade Row is per side. So you only need one dumbbell for this today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna position our hands over top of the dumbbell. My feet are gonna go into about a squat stance. At the very minimum, hip width apart. So we do want a slightly wider stance for this to maintain good balance and control. So my hands are down, my feet are a little wider than normal. I'm gonna shift my weight to one hand, push through that arm to stabilize. The other hand's gonna grab the dumbbell, and I'm gonna row, and row, and row, keeping that arm and elbow close to the body. So it's almost like I'm trying to pull my hand to my hip and rib, right? My low rib and my hip. Then from there, when we switch sides, you can take a knee, and then we set up the same way. Nice plank, shift, push through that balancing arm, take hold, pull, and work on that nice smooth row. Now, if you're looking at this going, 30 seconds per side, I kind of want to do this alternating. Set a 60-second timer, and you're just going to go rep for rep. So what that's going to look like, same setup, we shift, push through that arm, row, put it down, shift, row. I'm just going to go back and forth between arms for a minute. Now, key point here, we have to make sure that we remember the shift in our body so that we can base and balance through that balancing arm. If we don't shift our weight a bit to that balancing arm, we go to pull that dumbbell, it's going to pull us down to the ground because we're going to lose our balance in that three-point point. Now, if you're not comfortable doing this with a dumbbell just yet, that's okay. We can grab the floor, set up like we have a dumbbell between our hands, and we're just going to pull our hand to our low rib and hip, giving ourselves a little pause, still working those same skills of the shift and pull, or working all one side for 30 seconds, all one side for the other 30. So it's up to you on how you want to take that down. Set yourself up for the best possible outcome. So if this is a challenging movement for yourself, set yourself up where it challenges but allows you to be successful and make that Renegade Row just that much things to think about. Solid plank, shift the weight, always pushing through that balancing arm. That arm is super strong. We're always pushing that arm away as this arm is doing the dynamic work. Now after we finish that, we have our lateral ski to vertical hop. So the same thing you did after the goblet squat. Whatever variation you like to play with there, please be my guest. We're using this as that chance to work on that dynamic skill and coordination work. After that, we're going to move into our foot-assisted pistol. And we have multiple variations. We're going to take it in a step-by-step progression for this, so you guys have some building blocks to play with. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our feet under our hips. We're going to get one toe down as a kickstand leg, pretty close to the foot. All right, so it's pretty close to that balancing leg. I'm going to squeeze my glutes in tall, just like I would set up for an RDL, except this time, my hips are going to go down towards my heel. Nice 3-second lower, pushing through that leg. So the leg that's doing the balancing and the work, I want you to focus 90% of your load and your weight through that leg. So the kickstand leg isn't doing more work. It's there to assist, not to do the work for your leg. Okay? So from there, what we can play with, if that's getting easier, we can work on a goblet variation. It's the same setup. The dumbbell's under the chin. I'm pressing the dumbbell, and I pull my hip down towards my heel, weighting over top of that lead foot, and stand. I still keep that same 3-second tempo, working on that one side for 30 seconds per side. Now if that's getting easier, and you're like, you know what? I've been loading these pistols for a while, I'm getting good depth, I'm still pushing forward. I like to make it a little harder on myself. We get rid of the dumbbell, and we're gonna get rid of this kickstand leg, and we're gonna put it on the back of the heel of that balancing foot. So it's still gonna allow ourselves to use it for some stability, but it's not gonna be there to be the balancing tool. So we push into that heel, we take our body down towards our heel, stand tall with that good squat, and then continue on. So we can work on that, taking away the balance and making this leg do that balancing work. Very challenging. Staying true to the 3-second tempo and staying true to our depth. Now if that's getting easier, you can add in the dumbbell and you can do a goblet variation with that foot on the back of the heel. So a nice steady progression for those pistols to build that strength moving into that full pistol with the leg in the front. So lots of different options there. Remember, build slow. Each stage of this might last months, might be, hey, I'm here for a year working with that goblet pistol. Who knows? But what we want to continue working on is that single leg strength, balance, and control through those hips. From there, we get a 60-second rest. Back to the top, 3 rounds. So we have quite a bit of work to do today. So as a quick recap, goblet squat, 60 seconds, 3-second eccentric, rest 15 seconds, lateral ski jump with vertical hop, or lateral ski jump as is, 15-second rest, dumbbell renegade row, loaded or unloaded. You can do this 30 seconds per side or alternating for 60 seconds. Then you'll move into your 15 seconds rest, lateral ski jump with vertical hop, or just lateral ski jump, 60 seconds, then a 15-second rest, and then foot-assisted pistol for 30 seconds per side, whatever variation you'd like to work on today, and then 60 seconds of rest, do it again. Lots of work, tons of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed today's strength work, everyone. I've been really digging how these have been working and the feedback from all you guys about these work sets. So let me know how this one goes, you guys. I'm always interested in what you're doing for pistols, if you're doing that lateral ski to vertical hop, if it's getting easier, and feel free to send me a video. I'm always down to watch a video to help further those abilities. As always though, work for quality, you guys. Have a ton of fun. We'll see you tomorrow for a slightly higher heart rate and a whole ton of fun. Bye, you guys.